Okay, I want to interrupt the whittling the small gifts to give away for a minute and answer some questions here. A person I was dealing with did this carving, and what I wanted to show is this is particularly the types of carving that I get back from people. And there's nothing wrong with this carving, as you can see. There's nothing terribly wrong with it or anything like that. I just want to show how you can make this better. Now, in most cases, people, what they do is they don't carve deep enough. Now, this is just a guy in a pair of overalls and stuff. But if you notice their hands, their arms and things like that, it's not very deep, in other words. It's not very convex. It's not very convincing in such a way. And not that it's bad or anything like that, because when you paint them, they look good. But how can we make this better? How can we create this guy to look a whole lot better? And a lot of it has to do with just deepening your what I call redefining your carving a little bit. Now, in this case, we have the part here, and I'm going to make this just a little bit deeper. I'm going to show you how by making this deeper, it gives it so much more, of a personality. Here we go. Where we come up underneath here and we give this a deeper look underneath the head here, where there's a separation of the. Now the person who did this gave me the permission to sort of help them a little bit. Okay, we're just bringing that up underneath there a little bit more. All right, now that doesn't change it a whole lot, but it just does help. Now, where I come to the issue here is the arms. There's nothing wrong with leaving it like this. But if we take and we start carving a little bit deeper on these arms, making them, giving them much more of a class. Bring this back a little bit more. See, giving it more of an interest in here. And then on the overalls here, bringing that deeper in there. Just like that. And bringing these arms just redefining them, just cutting deeper into this area to give these arms and a little bit more character is all we're trying to do. See, by bring these arms back a little bit in there. I'm sorry. Okay, and then we're just going to draw this back here. And do this. this and cut this. Gives it a little bit more character than what it normally would be. And then we're just going to kind of give this cut down here like this. Giving it just a look. Now you see how the difference is now? I didn't change it a whole lot. But I just dipped that arm in there. Okay. And let's go over here and do the same thing for this one. Okay. First of all, let's just take this and cut this back a little bit better. There we go. And let's kind of come up forward with this, and let's bring this at a better angle, cut a lot of it deeper. See, all we're doing is doing the same thing, but we're making deeper cuts and coming to the front here and making this deeper. Now, I would have probably made this area further out. I would have brought this a little bit further out, in other words, from here, but that's okay. We're not going to change that at all. Okay? Like that. And that gives a little bit more depth to our arm. And once again, bring this back just a little bit. There it goes. And gives that much more depth as we look at it. Now, we're going to come around like this. And cut that. And slice off that. There we go. And then we're going to put our little things in there. Now, I haven't really done a lot to this piece. It looked pretty good to begin with. All I'm doing is adding some more depth to it. That's all I'm doing. Now, let's look at the shoes. The shoes basically really need to come down. They're a little bit too big. They're too tall. They need to be brought down a little bit. I come over here and I start bringing this down. Okay, and the same thing here. Now the shoes can remain like that, but it's best that we bring them down a little bit. In other words, I mean, it's all right. Well, this is kind of just all right, we just bring these shoes down a little bit more in this area. Alright, well you see where we've sort of brought the shoes down a little bit. Alright, now the next thing is they didn't get the, we want to make sure that the hair line back here is lined up. And we want to just sort of get these back straight right here. Whereas the overalls come around here. And okay, let me go ahead and do let's make a little cut right in here. Did it in front, but didn't do it in the back. It's good to have one in the back also. Alright, now one thing that we can add to, and this is not a bad, this is good with the coveralls that they did, but let's just add a little something extra. Cut down a little bit in the front here, and let's just add a little something extra as we do. Let's come up here and add a little, basically a little place where we've got a patch, not a patch, but a part of it cut out, and we come down here and we just go along the line of that. Okay, and then we come from the inside and we just remove that inside out there. And we follow that. There we go. And we just take a little bit more in here. So we've got a little opening there, patch. Now, it's not a patch, but it's a little opening where he's got torn in. And then we can come up here and we can put our patch. Where we went to from the inside of the piece, we're going to go to the outside. This is just some icing on the cake. Like, we come from the outside and we take that off of there. Off there. Use the tip of my knife. Take that off of there. And use the tip of my knife and take that off of there. And we're just going to kind of this in here. So all we've done is we made our, and this is our little patch that we will put our little things in here, just like that. Our little patch that we go. I want to just make this a little bit deeper and take that out of there. Okay. Now, let's go to the head. Now, the hat's not looking bad. But let's flatten it just a little bit. It's looking pretty good. I mean, it's just looking... You just go around the hat. Okay. Now, if we look at the face, and basically they just going to leave it with the actually the hat brim is still a little bit too thick. So we're going to bring that down just a little bit more. Cut this off right in there. All right. Okay. Now we can leave it with the hair. We don't have to make a ears. But let's look at the face just a little bit. The face looks all right, but there's a problem with the face really needs to be a little bit thinner in this area in here. So I'm going to bring that down on both sides. It doesn't change the thing, but it helps contour the face a little bit more. Okay, see that? And by doing this, we want to come from each side a little bit, make it a little bit better here. And we want to come back here where the hair line is, and we want to cut back just a little bit like that, in other words. And we'll just leave the ears off of this one like the head. Okay, and let me take that off. Now, I want to, the mouth looks good, but I want to cut in. Let's cut in a little bit deeper here. So let's just cut a little bit deeper in this area from the face there. I think maybe they were afraid to cut too deep. So that nose will show out. Let's come up underneath here. There we go. Do that. So that's cutting a little bit deeper in here. And then we can bring the mouth across here. Now, this would probably be a good guy to put like a smoke in his mouth or cigar in his mouth or whatever. Bring this up just a little bit more. So all we're doing, we're not changing what this carver has done. We're simply defining it a little bit bigger to make it have a little bit more of a look to it. But you don't take away completely what the person has done. Now, let me get my V-tool. Okay. And instead of just leaving the hair the way it is, let's go ahead and take our time and just sort of here we go. Okay. And let's just kind of put it at the end there and put it at the end here. There we go. Where you've got your, you take up a little bit more. Right there. Now, we haven't really changed the definition of the piece here. I'm just going to get that nose back just a little bit more. We haven't really changed the piece all that much. It still pretty much looks like the same thing. But now watch, you take that and kind of scoop that in there and give that a little bit better. All right, like right here, you kind of scoop that. Gives it a little bit better flavor. Okay. Okay. Hasn't really changed the atmosphere. I'll clean this up later. It's just hasn't really changed the atmosphere of the carving. But what it has done is it's changed a little bit of the depth of the carving.